In the headlines, death toll in fresh Plateau attack hits 51. Hunters leader returns to Kano after recovery, recalls harrowing experience. Women protest in support of Rivers emergency rule, says it's constitutional. And on the foreign scene, Algeria orders expulsion of 12 French embassy officials amid diplomatic row. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin the news with security matters, where the death toll in Monday's attack in some communities of Kwao district in Basa local government area of Plateau State has hit 51, with several houses razed. According to a Kwao community leader, Wakili Tongwe, the attackers invaded the village in the early hours of Monday and shot sporadically at residents who were scampering for safety after hearing gunshots. The community leader added that a team of vigilantes, including himself and some security personnel, were on patrol in another community when the attackers invaded the village and started shooting. Though the security personnel engaged the invaders and succeeded in repelling the attackers, the damage had already been done, with about 36 persons shot dead and 4 others dying later. Some other residents sustained gunshot wounds and are receiving medical attention at different hospitals. Security agencies in the state are yet to comment on the attack, which is coming less than 2 weeks after 52 persons were killed in some communities in Boka's local government area of the North Central state. Troops of 3 Division Operation Safe Haven have rescued 16 passengers kidnapped along the Jos-Mangu Road in Plateau State. Media and Information Officer for Operation Safe Haven, Major Zakom, in a statement issued Monday, revealed that the rescue operation began when troops conducting Operation Lafi and Jama'a discovered an empty vehicle abandoned by the roadside at Maraban Kantoma in Mangu local government area of the state at about 9 p.m. local time on 13th April 2025. He added that the troops immediately searched the nearby bushes to trace the occupants of the vehicle suspected to have been kidnapped. The kidnappers, on sighting the troops, opened fire, but the criminals were overwhelmed by superior firepower, forcing them to abandon the victims and flee. Zakom added that the troops exploited the general area and rescued all 16 abducted passengers, which included 6 children. The leader of a group of hunters that was attacked and some of them gruesomely murdered at the Uromi axis of Edo State, Ibrahim Isa Torankawa, has returned to Kano after weeks of recovery. Speaking for the first time on the incident, Torankawa recounted his ordeal, the search for justice, and the ongoing support for families of those killed during the unfortunate attack. The report.
After spending nearly a fortnight recovering from his injuries, Ibrahim Isa Torankawa, the leader of the group of traveling hunters who were attacked and killed in Uromi, Edo State, has returned to Kano and shares details of the much-discussed ordeal.
Ni ne chairman ɗinmu na hunter da muke farauta a garin Fatakwal yau shekara 22 ina jagorantar mutane.
I am the chairman of the hunters group that has been operating in Port Harcourt for the past 22 years. We have never encountered a situation like this, not in Port Harcourt, nor while traveling to and from Kano until this year. We managed to get help from one of the Dangote trucks from Ilele, who agreed to take us to Kaba Junction. When we got to Uromi, we were stopped by vigilantes. We showed them our documents from both the local government and Kano state government, but they said they were not satisfied. They seized my ID card and shredded my gun permit. Then the vigilante leader ordered one of his officers to search our belongings that were inside the truck. He came down with our then guns and started accusing us of being kidnappers.
According to Ibrahim, this confrontation led to the horrific scenes that have since circulated widely on social media. After receiving treatment for a court in Abuja, Ibrahim narrates how he was able to support the subsequent investigation to identify their attackers.
Sai turawa police waya ta suka kira ni kana ina daidai.
From where I was hiding, I made some phone calls until the police were able to locate me around Maghrib time. That is between 5:30 and 6 p.m. The incident started around 11 a.m. They then took me to hospital. At the police station in Abuja, I was able to identify some of those who were arrested. They claimed that we didn't have dogs with us, but only guns. But when the video was reviewed, it clearly showed our dogs on the truck barking while we were being attacked.
Ibrahim, who is now calling for support for the families of his deceased colleagues, also spoke about the aid they have received so far, as well as what they still expect.
You met me at the bank, where we have come to open an account to receive the little support the country can offer, both for those of us who were injured and for the families of those who lost their lives. We are here with some of the family members, and we hope to return home with our bank documents.
As the nation grapples with the implications of the tragic attack, Ibrahim Isa Torankawa remains a symbol of resilience for his community and the hunting profession.
Now, away from security, retirees under the contributory pension scheme in Kaduna State have staged a protest demanding the payment of accumulated retirement benefits. The retirees who staged the protest in front of the Sir Kashim Ibrahim House said they are still struggling to provide for their families years after retirement following the non-payment of their entitlement. Trust TV's Bella Musa has more.
With frustration on their faces, these retirees under the contributory pension scheme came out to protest the non-payment of their retirement benefit since their retirement from service.
Some of the issues are that, one, we have spent 9 years, as I said earlier, not a single kobo has been paid. Number two, we are underpaid. The former governor brought people from Lagos State to calculate our entitlement, and it was intended to underpay us. How would you imagine that somebody has worked for 25 good years, you are paying him 250,000, money that cannot fit him for 1 week, you are paying him 250,000. Does it happen in any civilized society?
Recently, the Kaduna State government approved the payment of the benefits of some of the retirees. However, they faulted the process.
Some of us are dying. Some of us are paralyzed. Some of us are losing their eyes. They are deaf and dumb because they have no money. Depression is disturbing us.
So Kaduna State government has refused to pay us our benefits. No pension, no gratuity, no single kobo. There are some who are even my seniors. They have spent 9 years. Me, I have spent 5 years without a single kobo, as either as a pension or gratuity. As you saw us here, all of us, is there anybody among us here that is below 65 years? No.
The list, the current list, which is supposed to be paid, we saw among the list those that retired last year, just 2015, 2014, 2013. We saw their name among the list, and they are not, let's say, if they are ill or they have a challenges, mental health challenges, we know that that one is another issue. But
the protesters took the protest to the government house to voice out their grievances, but were unable to meet the governor. However, the secretary to the state government addressed them on behalf of the state government.
So I appeal to them. First, accept that it's not a show of gratitude.
for them to come out and protest soon after the governor has graciously approved the release of 3.8 billion. And the governor didn't say this is the only thing I can give. He said, look, release this money, begin to alleviate the sufferings of these people, pending when this verification exercise is completed. Then the governor will work out a way, sustainably, how he will address and settle this liability.
While calling on the government to go back to the old pension scheme, they call for prompt payment of their entitlements.
So we decided that the last resort is to go back to the protest system, and that is what we are doing. If they do not do anything, we will continuously do it, and both Christians and Muslims will pray. At 27, I tell you, we will pray 2027, many of them are going nowhere. Yes.
They further appeals for calm among members while the struggle continues. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
And now in Rivers, the political crisis in the state has taken a new turn as a coalition of women groups stormed the streets of Port Harcourt in support of the emergency rule in the oil-rich state. The women, who were dressed in white, marched from the Garrison flyover to the Isaac Borough Park and were seen carrying placards with inscriptions such as "State of Emergency is constitutional, we don't want Fubara," amongst others. They were led by a former commissioner for social welfare in Rivers, Ifeyinwa Aguma, who is an ally of the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike. The protesters threw their weight behind Ibok Ete Bas, who President Bola Tinubu appointed as the administrator of the state, urging him to continue his good work in the state. Monday's protest is coming on the heels of last week's women's demonstration in favor of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, who was suspended by Tinubu owing to the political crisis in the state.
We are here today as Rivers women. We are here to thank Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that we are happy that he brought about the state of emergency, apart from which we would have been in violence and in chaos. We want to thank the President for averting the impending danger that was looming on Rivers people. We want to thank the President for bringing us Ibas. We want to thank the President for saving our state from chaos.
But I've laid the foundation to tell you that we have not had a government in Rivers State. What does that have to do with the federal government suddenly taking over Rivers State? What are they taking over for? What does that have to do with it? We are spending money without appropriation. Is that proper? No. The House of Assembly was burned down and later demolished. Is that proper? No. Government has been running on two trunks. Is that proper? No.
Admiral, Vice Admiral, retired Epe Ibas, since his emergence as the sole administrator of River State, we have experienced peace. There is no more threat from the militants, no burning of public assets, no sentiment from the tribal sentiment, no tribal war anymore.
We are united people. Our elders, our chiefs, our youths, they are united. There is no problem in River State. Those that say there is problem, it is not. They are not from River State. A real Rivers daughter will tell you there is peace in River State. And I am telling you, we are women of River State. They are not hired. Tell us women from River State. You come from Aguda, Omok, anywhere you come. Agodua, River State, River South East, River West. We are all River State. No matter what the enemy have done, we are telling you that River State is us. And we are in charge of this state. And we are speaking the truth. We are for peace. We don't want problem.
Still in Rivers State, the government has demanded 300 million naira as refund from the NBA over the relocation of venue for its conference. The government described the reasons given by the association for the decision as misleading, uncharitable, and unbecoming. In a statement issued on Monday by the Senior Special Assistant on Media to the Administrator of the State, Hector Ibiki Owubo, the Rivers State government acknowledged the NBA's right to choose its preferred venue, but faulted the association's suggestion that the current administration, headed by a sole administrator, was undermining democracy and the rule of law. The Rivers State government further explained that President Bola Tinubu acted within the confines of his constitutional powers when he declared a state of emergency in Rivers following what it described as a collapse of democratic institutions in the state. While defending the sole administrator's leadership, the government emphasized his commitment to restoring democratic institutions, upholding fundamental rights, and respecting court rulings. The government also raised concerns over what it described as the NBA's selective principled stand, particularly questioning the fate of the 300 million naira already paid by the state government for hosting rights. A chief magistrate in the Rivers Judiciary, AGK King George, has voluntarily resigned from service, citing unease with the recent appointment of what he described as a quasi-military administration to oversee the state's affairs. In a letter dated April 11, 2025, and addressed to the Chief Judge of Rivers State through the Secretary of the Rivers State Judicial Service Commission, Magistrate George expressed discontent over the direction of the state government, stating that it is alien and antithetical to the values of the legal profession. Highlighting his years of service, George noted that he dedicated 16 out of his 22 years in legal practice to the Rivers State Judiciary as a magistrate under various democratic administrations. He expressed concerns that continuing under the present structure will amount to tactic and naive acquiescence, the letter said. The letter underscored ongoing tensions in the Rivers State judicial and political landscape following recent developments in governance. Controversial singer Akikiola Badmus, popularly known as Portable, has been remanded in the Okekura Correctional Center in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, over his inability to meet stringent bail conditions imposed by an upper area court in the state. This follows the singer's appearance in court on Monday on the charges of defamation of character leveled against him by veteran Fuji musician Okerede Said, aka Said Osupa. The Zazu crooner, however, received bail of 1 million naira and other stringent bail conditions, including providing 2 sureties in like sum. According to the court's directive, one of the sureties must be either the chairman or secretary of the Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria, while the other must be a property owner within a government-reserved area in Ilorin, supported by a valid certificate of occupancy. This is news update on Trust TV coming up ahead. Man in viral video molesting minor arrested, Zulum orders prosecution. This and many more when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, this is news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. That toll in fresh plateau attack hits 51. And Hunters leader returns to Kano after recovery, recalls harrowing experience. Moving on to more stories. Acting on Governor Babagana Zulum's directive, security personnel on Saturday apprehended Modu at Umarari in Maiduguri. Describing the video as deeply troubling, Governor Zulum ordered Modu's immediate prosecution. He also extended support to the victim, Bashir Gaji, by offering a scholarship and a house to his family. Gaji's family currently resides in an IDP camp in Mongunu, having been displaced following the killing of his father by Boko Haram insurgents. The video sparked widespread outrage on social media, with many condemning the grave violation of children's rights and demanding prompt action from security and judicial authorities. Now talking politics, amidst ongoing talks of mergers and coalitions ahead of the 2027 general elections, the People's Democratic Party Governors Forum says the party is not prepared to join any coalition or merger. The resolution was made in a communique issued at the end of the forum's meeting held in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, on Monday. After the meeting, which lasted about 6 hours behind closed doors, the chairman of the forum and Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, who read the communique, clarified that rather, the PDP remains open to welcoming individuals, parties, and groups committed to rescue Nigeria and promoting good governance.
Noting the nationwide speculation about the possible merger of political parties, groups, and or associations, the forum resolved that the PDP will not join any coalition or merger. However, the PDP as a major opposition party welcomes any parties or groups that are willing to join it with the view to wresting power and controlling good leadership in 2027. The forum expresses position taken in Asaba on the issue of the national secretary of the party, that in the wake of the Supreme Court judgment, the forum resolved to recommend that the deputy national secretary acts as a national secretary pending the nomination and ratification of a substantive national secretary on the Southeast Zone at NED at its next meeting.
And now on a side note, 2 passengers, including a 9-month-old baby and a female adult, have lost their lives in a road accident that occurred on Sunday at the Uduma Junction area of the Uburu community in Oha Ozara local government area of Ebonyi State. According to eyewitnesses, the bus, which was carrying about 25 people, including children, lost control and collided with another vehicle while navigating a sharp bend at high speed. The impact caused the bus to somersault 3 times, resulting in severe injuries to the passengers. The victims were rushed to David Umahi Federal University Teaching Hospital, Uburu, by locals within the community. 2 passengers, a 9-month-old baby girl and an adult female, lost their lives at the scene and were confirmed dead on arrival at the hospital. However, an 11-month-old child who sustained severe traumatic brain injury remains in critical condition and is currently admitted to the intensive care unit, where she is being supported by an artificial respirator due to failing respiration. In business, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries on Monday slightly cut its forecast for oil demand growth, citing the impact of U.S. tariffs on the world economy. In its monthly oil market report for April, the Secretariat now sees demand grow by 1.3 million barrels per day in 2025, down from a previous forecast of 1.4 million barrel per day. The price of OPEC's basket of 12 crudes fell to 66,022 cents a barrel on Monday, compared with $70.85 the previous Friday, according to OPEC Secretariat calculations. The development comes after the 8 OPEC Plus countries, which previously announced additional voluntary adjustments in April and November 2023, namely Saudi Arabia, Russia, Iraq, UAE, Kuwait, Kazakhstan, Algeria, and Oman, met virtually on 3rd April 2025 to review global market conditions and outlook. The 8 participating countries will implement a production adjustment of 411,000 barrels per day, equivalent to 3 monthly increments in May 2025. This comprises the increment originally planned for May, in addition to 2 monthly increments. And away from Nigeria, Algeria has ordered 12 French embassy officials to leave the country within 48 hours, escalating tensions between the 2 nations just days after both sides took tentative steps toward mending strained diplomatic ties. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot confirmed the expulsion on Monday, describing it as a direct response to the indictment in Paris last week of 3 Algerian nationals, one of whom is reportedly a consular official in connection with the 2024 abduction of anti-government social media influencer Amir Bokars, also known as Amir DZ. Bokars, who has more than 1 million followers online, was granted asylum in France in 2023, was allegedly kidnapped in the Paris suburbs last April and released a day later. And in sports, Nasarawa United has been slammed a 6 million naira fine and banished to Gombe State for their home matches following an attack on a Plateau United player. The Plateau United player Vincent Temitope was assaulted, leading to cuts on his neck after some Nasarawa United supporters attacked him in a Nigeria Premier Football League NPFL game on Sunday. In a statement on Monday, the NPFL said the Solid Miners breached the rules of the football body for failure to provide adequate and effective security during the game. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Bye for now.